Today I'm designing a training arc monster that my protagonist cannot overpower. Not because he's weak, but because the monster adapts. Before all of that, I want to talk about rock texture. I'll use 3 methods. First, I'll start with triangles. Triangles create aggression, sharp edges, volcanic unstable energy. This is good for magma-based monsters. Triangles feel dangerous because they imply direction and impact. I'll demonstrate the cracks, layering, and overlapping, and of course shading, just to bring that type of depth into it. I'll move on to squares. Squares represents stability, heaviness, dense, fortress-like durability. If I want the monster to feel immovable, I use squared planes. I add flat surfaces, bulky structure, and with squares, I go diversity with it. I go I use shapes that are 4-sided. It don't matter if it's a square, as long as it has 4 sides. It will feel like it has that immovable type of feeling. Yes.
I want you to notice how I'm going to delete most of the lines because I want to add depth, but I still apply the same method. Regular lines, 4-sided, whether it's a trapezium, a square, or a rectangle. The point is to make some type of a mountain type like fortress, and I'll add more organic to it with more lines, shading to make it to add the depth in it. I create the lines and the cracks to make it appear more rocky like. Yeah.
Now I'll move on to circles. With circles, they can represent rounded rocks like pebbles. This is the method I like to use when I use pebbles. Rocks are rounded. They can, represent erosion. They can, look ancient, worn down, neutral formation. Circles they create a organic feeling instead of constructed. And I make it curvy. I use curved lines just to bring out the organic feeling of a rock, and the cracks, of course, just to put that depth in it. I'm going to use all these methods to create a mountain structure. Right. If you want to go back and get pointers and if you need some type of reference, you can go back and pause and follow along. Now watch what happens when I combine all 3: curves, curvy lines, circles, squares, and triangles. Triangles, peaks; squares, plane; and rounded erosion edges. Contrast creates realism.
Ninja!
This isn't just texture training. I created this monster for Ariel so that it can push him to his limits. Ariel, alright, you're wondering who that is. That is my protagonist, the main character of my manga that I came up with. Now, particularly I wanted to talk about the monster. This monster was made for adaptive magic. From adaptive magic. It studies energy patterns and evolves. It adapts to heat, it adapts to impact, it adapts to energy frequency, it reinforces weak spots instantly. Key line: Ariel cannot overpower it at his current level. Y'all know who Mahoraga is, right? From Jujutsu Kaisen. Just like Mahoraga, this monster of mine is able to adapt also. It pushes any opponent it faces. But unlike Mahoraga, it doesn't, kill you. No, it doesn't kill. It adapts until, there's nothing more you can offer the monster, and then it's just, it's rendered I wouldn't say useless, but it shuts off. It's like a robot. You activate it and then it only stops when you stop evolving. If you stop evolving, it also stops functioning. Not unless you can overpower it and set up the power gap. Now we go dynamic with the monster that I've created. With the construction of this, I went with a wide torso, square based, jagged shoulder spikes, triangle based, rounded joints, circle based, magma veins with the cracks within the cracks, as you can see over here. Notice how I'm using squares for durability, triangle for danger, and circles for flow. New layers forming, panel. Plates shifting, magma veins reacting. It doesn't get stronger, it gets smarter. My protagonist over here uses stellar aura, solar flare around hands, energy compression. This isn't about destroying the monster. It's about forcing my protagonist to evolve. Pressure creates growth. That's the training philosophy around the program I'm taking my protagonist through. Durability, you gain it through training. Energy output reinforcement, efficiency over brute force. A good training arc doesn't make your protagonist stronger, it reveals their limits. And then it breaks them. Next episode, I'll explain how Ariel adapts his stellar magic to counter adaptive density. This monster was originally created to adapt, like I said before, to any type of magic. Particularly, it was made for a specific magic signature, and that is stellar magic. If you're getting a little bit confused of what this means, I will have a video soon that explains about my world's power system. For now, let's just say he adapts, just like Mahoraga.
But unlike Mahoraga can adapt to all. This one is specifically made for one person, and that is my protagonist. So, my protagonist evolves when it comes to pressure, durability, energy output, and brute force. He has to burn like a star. He has to face the force, the pressure a star can output. So he has to go through unimaginable pressure when it comes to training. So I'm just gonna go ahead and shade and tone this. I'm still trying to learn how to shade and tone. I want to take it to the level of Yasuke Murata and Kentaro from Berserk. So just go ahead and just enjoy the process that I took, and I realized 80% of my viewers are not subscribed. So can you just go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment, and turn on notification. It's literally that easy. You just push the subscribe button. It's that easy. I mean, you watched the video, that means you liked the content. So you just go ahead and do that, and I'll see you next time.
We soon discover we gotta push our game. We slept on Thursday just to get it over. The whip's a day away. And they say, go slow, and everything just stands so still. We say, go, go, you're gonna see us rip into it. Just jump up, kick back, whip around and spin. And then we jump back to it again. Ninja, come on, we're gonna do it again. We just jump up, kick back, whip around and spin. And then we jump back to it again. Ninja, come on, we'll do the weekend whip, yeah. They say, no, but we don't wanna sit around no more. We say, go, you're gonna see us rip into it. Just jump up, kick back, whip around and spin. And then we jump back to it again. And then we jump back to it again. Ninja, come on, we're gonna do it again. We just jump up, kick back, whip around and spin. And then we jump back to it again. Ninja, come on, we'll do the weekend whip. Ninja, come on, and do the weekend whip. Kick back, whip around and spin. Wednesday morning and we soon discover we gotta push our game. We slept on Thursday just to get